So there is a lot of gap between that. Another report submitted by McKinsey at the Leadership Forum, it says that 1.75 lakh to 2 lakhs jobs, they are going to be cut in future in the next 30 years due to underpreparedness. That means some people who are not updating themselves continuously to the latest trends, they are at the risk of losing their jobs. And nearly half of the workforce in IT services will be irrelevant in 3 to 4 years. So we need to constantly reinvent and constantly keep on learning what the new skills are there. So if I apply this to myself, I have been in this profession for almost 2 decades. And if I today think that what else can I do other than teaching, if I want a good, decent salary, there are limited options. So, if we are introducing coding at this stage of sixth class onwards, they can also have students can have more options for the employability. They may not necessarily enter the pure coding jobs, but they can be exposed to a lot of different streams of employment. So they should not see, like, generally parents also, they don't have that much awareness, so they will say you take either maths or you take science, and third is you take arts. They don't know what all new options are there. Latest, what all things the children can explore according to their interest and their aptitude. So that's all from my side, sir.
Thank you, Preeti ji, for sharing these valuable thoughts. But thanks for your participation. Now, with this, we come to the last part of the session, which is the question part. We have received many questions, so I would be presenting these questions to you all. So first, I would request Ashish sir, if I may present the first question to you. Ashish sir, if we have your presence, can I present the first question to you? I'll request Ravikant ji, sir, if you have your presence, I would like to present this question to you.
Sure, sir.
So this question has come from Ms. Kamlesh. Kamlesh is at EGT with Carmel Convent School, Faridabad. The question says NEP is talking about reducing the syllabus part. How it is going to create an impact? Will it be positive or negative?
Sir, it will be more positive as we will be mostly engaging the students by conducting different activity, by calling some resource person to the school. For example, हम किसी एक कोई for example a potter will be there. We can call him to the school. We can put like he will be explaining the student how the pot should be made. So हम उनको ये बता सकते हैं कि ये एक्टिविटी बेस पे ज़्यादा फोकस किया जाएगा एंड स्किल द स्टूडेंट विल बी लर्निंग दे शुड हैव द स्किल्स दैट व्हाट द पॉटर हैज़ डन एंड हाउ इट हैज़ टू बी डन. सो हम लोग को मोस्टली फोकस ऑन मोस्टली एक्टिविटी पे ज़्यादा डाल रहे हैं, ना कि रोट एंड टोल्ड मेथड पे. सो इसीलिए यहाँ पर दैट दिस विल बी मोर हेल्पफुल फॉर द स्टूडेंट टू लर्न मेनी थिंग्स, especially calling different field. Like for example, if there is any doctor, we can call him as a parent. If he is a parent also, we can call him as a resource person for a particular day to take classes in the regular classrooms and engaging the students by saying the importance of good health and hygiene, all these things. Or else we can also conduct different we can ask once a particular one day we can call the chef or a particular designer. So different field workers we can call, or else we can take our students to them for like internship work. So they will be there, they will spend their time, they will start valuing their work efforts and everything. So this is what the NAP is actually emphasizing more.
Thank you, sir. I'll come back to you. I would like to check again, Ashish sir, if you have joined us back. Ashish sir, do we have your presence?
Hello.
Yeah. So Ashish sir, would like to present next question to you. The question is from Miss Leena Guzabi. Leena ji is a teacher with Strawberry School, Sangamner, Maharashtra. The question says, how do you see the future of classical languages like Sanskrit?
Very interesting question. In fact, See, I'll tell you. In fact, I studied Sanskrit when Sanskrit, like one of the languages other than English, was to be taken in year 10, like doing my CBSE, grade 10. Now, Sanskrit, in fact, is becoming, popular again. It's regaining its base back in India in a lot of schools. It lost its meaning probably for quite a number of years, but I feel like Sanskrit is going to get back, its importance. Primarily, I've seen a lot of schools in Europe. They have started, Sanskrit education, chanting of mantras. So these are the things which they are doing. और हम लोग इंडियंस इस चीज में बहुत आगे हैं कि लाइक हमारा अपना कल्चर वी डोंट रियली गिव दैट मच रिस्पेक्ट अनलेस द वेस्टर्नर्स एक्सेप्ट इट एंड इट कम्स बैक टू अस सो I think this is since this is happening again, Sanskrit will become a very, very important language once again. And there were a lot of, in fact, I can tell you the last school I worked in India in Udaipur, I could see the increase of number of students who were actually opting for Sanskrit for various reasons. Like Sanskrit, one, it is like, it helps in developing your mind. And then second was like it's a scoring subject. So like even when it comes to say gradings or getting good grades and marks and all that, so these were the reasons it became really slowly popular. So Sanskrit is going to get back its place and its respect again.
Thank you, Ashish sir. I'll come back to you for your concluding remark. I would now request Dr. Preeti Rishi. Preeti ji, this NEP is talking about integration of vocational education in formal schooling. Many believe that this would be a challenge in terms of arranging logistics, trainers, tools, for executing this vocational education. So, what do you think? Will it be challenging for schools?
Yes, sir. Initially, definitely, we will have to put the things in place. It will need time. Like suddenly, when we had to switch over to online teaching at the time of pandemic, the schools were not properly equipped for this. Many of the private schools were not equipped for this, leaving alone the public schools. So there is if we are depending more and more on the latest technology, then we need to create some infrastructure. Like for vocational training also, we need to have the people to give training. So we need to employ new people, even if it is for part time. We need to have the system in place for hiring them and for engaging them. So definitely it will take some time, but we are hopeful that in very near future we will be able to see the things in place, and we will be able to see the benefits coming out of these policies.
Absolutely. Thank you, Preeti ji, for that. And big thanks once again to all the key participants, Ashish sir, Ravikant ji, Preeti ma'am. With this, we come to the end of this very special session. But before we end the session, I would request if we can have your concluding remark. So I would, also request that we have very interesting practice that while sharing your concluding remark, also share what would be your priority and your idea that you would like to execute if you get a chance to become Union Minister of Education. So I would request first Ravikant ji, sir, if we can have your concluding remark. And what would be your priority if you get a chance to become Minister of Education, Ravikant ji?
That will be, I can't expect that one, sir. But definitely we will be going to have so many ideas, and we can change the pattern of education in our country by introducing so many strategies and technology. Like especially we are going to have the technology only. So most probably we have to inculcate many things, and the changes has to be go in a step by way. So not at a time. First thing is that I would be going to see how we can effectively implement the NEP 2020 based on the drawbacks of these things. NEP, then only we can see what we can do better than NEP 2020 if I will be there. So that's what I can say, sir.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you, Ravikant ji, for your participation, for your valuable thoughts. Big
Thank you
thanks.
so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Now I would request Dr. Preeti Rishi, if I may request you for your concluding remark, and what would be your priority if you get a chance to become Minister of Education?
Yes, sir. So, everything, as we all know, starts with the finances. So, first of all, we need to allocate sufficient funds so that the things start moving, the systems start moving for maybe appointment of new teachers. So that is the most important thing, I feel. Then the intent to implement it cannot be forcibly done from the government side. All the players who are participating, all the stakeholders, they must have that intent to implement what the government is visualizing, their vision. And we can also attract people and popularize by using social media. So we know what is the power of social media nowadays. So new schemes which people are not aware of, some schemes like vocational trainings, what all options are available to them. So many times people don't know what all options are available to them, how they can utilize a particular system to the best. Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Thank you, Preeti ji. Now I would request Ashish sir. Sir, we would like to end the session with your remarks. I would request you if you can share your concluding remark, and what would be your priority if you get a chance to become International Minister of Education. Now,
Very interesting. First of all, thank you so much for this wonderful, webinar. There was a lot of learning, of course, from my co-participants as well. And I must say that, becoming an education minister, even without becoming an education minister, probably we can raise our voice, probably to reach out to the masses and to the audience. There are a few things, like first and foremost, the most important thing is, if there is a possibility to have a very feasible and practical mix of our ancient Gurukul system integrated with the technology. This is something which I really need, that where the Gurukuls were there and the students were doing a lot of practical learning, okay? And they were learning from out of their day-to-day chores, going to the ashrams and learning. So if there is a possibility, let's try and integrate that, bring those values. That value system is very, very important. Number two, teachers. I'm sorry to share this on this platform, that, I've interviewed probably hundreds and hundreds of teachers, and like I was very disappointed at a lot of times when the teachers, the applicants who had done masters in the courses, like say master MSc Maths or MSc Physics or MSc Computer Science, or even MA English or MA Sanskrit, and while interviewing, they did not even know the basic questions. One aspect which was very bad was even general knowledge. Like general knowledge of these teachers, maximum teachers like I've interviewed was so poor. Many of them didn't even know who is the Vice President of India. At those times when we were interviewing. So it came as a shock and surprise. So my next step would be, like we all talk about, say, Finland education and the respect of teachers in Finland. But are we aware that to become a teacher in Finland is not easy? It is one of the most difficult tasks to become a teacher in Finland. And that's the reason they get this much of respect. So my priority would be to have a system in place where we can actually, we produce the output of this system. The teachers that come out of this are groomed really well to take care of our future citizens. These youngsters, these young little minds are the future citizens. They are the nation. They are going to develop the nation. So teachers are known as nation builders. So my responsibility and top priority would be to have a change even in the teachers' training programs and have a mindset where these teachers come out and really can contribute in building up the nation. Thank you.
thank you, Ashish sir. Big thanks for sharing these valuable thoughts. So big thanks once again to all the key speakers, Ashish sir, Ravikant sir, Preeti ma'am. Big thanks. I also thank other participants for being with us for the entire session. Big thanks to all of you. We'll end the session here. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, sir. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Have a good day, everyone.